All right, and I think we're on. Hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
So, first of all, before we start, let's hear some of you. Where are you guys from? And let us know if you can hear us. That's the first thing to check the sound and see how it goes. Okay, we have some people here. Tally, hello, Tally. Hello, Air 4. Good morning.
Where are you from, guys?
We have Fabrice from UK. Hello, Fabrice. Fabrice is always with us. Jacksonville, Florida. Nice.
Oh, cool.
Nice. So we have people from UK, from the States. Okay, we have Kurdistan. Nice. That's actually maybe the first one from Kurdistan. We never had somebody from there. All right. Slovenia. Hello, Slovenia. India. Okay. For those of you who don't know, we're actually in Serbia, in Balkans, kind of close to Slovenia. We used to be a big country once. All right, so guys, just let me know if you can hear us well, and then we're gonna slowly start with today's Q&A. As you can see today, Lazar and I are a little bit, we're not in the same location because I got sick a little bit, and then I didn't want Lazar to get sick as well, so that's why we're doing this in a separate setup. But hopefully we can push it through.
Yeah, I hope
And
next time we'll be together in the same room.
yeah, we will for sure. Okay, Fabrice says we can hear you fine. Awesome. All right. So first of all, guys, welcome to our Q&A call. This is going to be a public Q&A call that we're going to be hosting on our YouTube channel. So you can actually, the best thing would be to actually just go to our YouTube channel if you're not already there and watch us there. And we're actually streaming this as well. So when you finish the call, it's also going to be there on the YouTube channel, so you can check it out. And the reason for today's Q&A is we have a couple of announcements that we want to do. As you may know, at How to Rhino, once a year we do these kind of huge workshops and events. And this year's event is going to be happening from May 4th until May 14th. And we wanted to kind of first, before the workshop, to talk with you guys a little bit and potentially see what are your biggest current problems with Rhino, with your workflows, with whatever you're using. So I'm gonna first kind of show you how the whole workshop is gonna be laid out. I'm gonna share my screen and show you all that in a minute, and then also you can maybe prepare if you have any questions about Rhino, about Grasshopper, about your workflow, and we're gonna try to help you with that. We're gonna try to answer that, and we're gonna have one more call like this in 2 weeks, just right before the workshop. So if we don't answer all of your questions today, we're going to probably answer them either in the community or in that second live event before the workshop. So for those of you who are here with us on YouTube, do you guys have you actually gone into our How to Run a Community on Skool? Are you already on Skool or no? Let us know. I know that Fabrice is.
Maybe you can put the link, maybe.
Yeah,
Be
let's
visible,
put the
yeah.
link. For those of you, if there's anybody who is not in the community yet, this is something that you should do right away. Go to this link. Okay, Alena says, yes, you're with us on Skool. All right. Because everything, okay. So Rafik, here's the link. You can see the link on the screen. I'm also going to put the link here, skool.com/how-to-rhino. So that's the place where our workshop is going to happen from May 4th to May 14th, and that's where all of our subscribers are, and also our Instagram followers, and we try to keep everybody in the same place where we can actually have discussions. We can talk with you guys. We can help each other out. So it's much more, user friendly than doing this on YouTube or any other platform. So that's why we're doing it on Skool. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now to actually show you what Skool is for some of you who are not already on there, and then to kind of slowly transition into what we're gonna be doing on the upcoming workshop. So let me try to share my screen now, and now you should be able to see my screen. So this is the Skool community that we were talking about. So here you can see this first page is called community. As you can see now, we have a live, which is obvious. We're having live here on the YouTube, and all of these events are going to be visible in the community directly. So you'll be able to simply click on there. You can simply click on there. Actually, there's a calendar, and you click on the calendar, and that's gonna help you to get to that event that we're gonna be having. This first page is called community, and this is a place where we have it's like a place where we have discussions where we can share our problems. We can share some of the issues we're having with our models. You can see, for example, some of the people who are posting about their projects, and then we're discussing, giving feedback. So it's like a place where you can help each other out. And oftentimes we actually jump in as well and try to help you with your own problems with Rhino and Grasshopper. And this is the best way to actually interact with us and to get help. We have many people here who are already members of our courses, and they're also jumping in to help other people as well. So it's really nice to actually interact with everybody here. Everybody is either architects or engineers or designers, everybody who wants to learn Rhino and Grasshopper, but we primarily focus on how Rhino is established in architecture and how we use it in architecture. Also, I wanted to mention that everything that you see here, like this is the next to the community, we have the classroom, which is the place where we have some folders and things that you can actually open. For you, this is the most important right now, free workshop. I'm going to get to that in a minute. In the calendar, we have all of the events that we have laid out for that particular month. So this is the event we have in April, and then in May we're going to have all of these events. They're all going to be broadcasted from here. So if you're not already on Skool, make sure to go there and log in and actually create your account. Another thing is the leaderboards, which is really cool. So if you remember, when I showed you the community, you can see how some of these people have levels, right? So you have levels and you have points. And the way that you get points is by simply posting valuable stuff. And when other people like your stuff, you actually get bonus points. So for example, let's say Alessandro has 9 points to level up. If I give him a like here, it's going to be 8 points, right? So now he has a couple more points to level up. When you level up your account, you get additional perks, you get the additional discounts with us and so on. So we wanted to kind of incentivize you to be active member. In terms of the classroom, this is where all of the events are going to be. Sorry, the calendar. This is where all of the events are going to be laid out, as I mentioned before. And all you need to do when you get into Skool is to simply click on those and add them to your calendar. And this is going to simply add that event to your calendar, either Google, Apple, so you don't miss it whenever we go live. So that's about what I want. Yeah, and we also have the map, which is really cool feature where you can see our whole community of everybody who's on there. It's not completely like everybody, but like when you zoom in, you get more and more people depending on your location. And you can see that we have like a worldwide audience here. You can maybe look for somebody who's near you, and you can potentially meet up and so on. It's really nice to see how big the community is. Now, guys, so far, do you guys have any questions about this? All clear. We haven't gone into any complex things yet. Okay. All right, cool. Rafik is saying this is really great. Thank you. I'm signing up. Cool. So once again, the link is here in the bottom left corner. And now let me share my screen again and show you the plan for our workshop. This is like the big announcement that we wanted to kind of give you today. And in terms of the workshop, all of the information when you log in into the platform, this is the first pinned post that you want to open that says how to run your workshop. When you click there, that's gonna give you all of the information you need. There's a small video of me where I explain how to actually like what were your next steps when you get in. And it's again really important that the second step is to go to the classroom and to go to the workshop folder. That's where you want to go, because that's where all of the information about the workshop is. We have two links here. This is actually the same link. Whatever link you click, it's going to take you to that particular folder. So what I just clicked was this folder here, free workshop. You click there, and it's going to take you to this workshop introduction and schedule page. Most questions that we got so far were about the schedule of the workshop and also the timetable or the timing of the particular events. So let me clarify that a little bit. You can see here, of course, the first thing is please watch the video, because the video really explains everything. It's just like a couple of minutes long. And then here below you have the workshop timetable. So the first event is happening on May 4th. And then we have, we have each event is followed by a live event, right? So the first workshop video it's already pre-recorded. It's not live event, but the blue ones are live events. And it's equally important for you to watch both the workshop video and both the live events, because at the end of the workshop, let's say you're going to have some prizes to win. So you will definitely want to be participating in all of them. The next thing would be that everything that you see here, when you scroll down below, you're going to see that we have first important workshop links and downloads. This is the place where you can find the full workshop timetable. When you open this link, it's gonna give you access to this PDF document that gives you a little bit more information about each event. So the first event is gonna be workshop video on May 4th. It's gonna be about Rhino. And then we're gonna have the event the day after about Rhino. Second one is gonna be Grasshopper, and the live event is gonna be about Grasshopper. The third one is gonna be about Rhino Side Rabbit. And then again, the live event following that as well. And then the fourth one is going to be like the overview of everything that we learned so far and how you can continue to learn with us. And then the live event is going to be something that you really, really don't want to miss. This event is the most important one. Live event 4 out of 4 on the 11th of May. It's on Sunday. It's going to be like a big overview of everything we learned so far. We're going to present the everything we covered, and also you'll be able to win some prizes with us on that day. Below, we're going to have also some surprise events that are going to happen on 12th and 13th of May, and also on 14th. So again, we're not going to announce this yet, but let's say that we're going to bring somebody special at How to Write. When it comes to this page, one thing I would like to point out is that all of these links that you see here are the same links as the ones you have here. So they're leading to the same pages. And for each single workshop, video, and live event, you have the actual time. So May 4th, 3 p.m., 3 p.m., everything is at 3 p.m. This is exactly the time that we're having this live right now. And right below that, you have the actual start time and time zones. So currently it's 3 p.m. at Belgrade in Serbia, where we are right now. But you can see all of the times that are like, we put here the London time, the New York time, LA time, Hong Kong, and Sydney and Melbourne. So you can guys kind of compare how this stacks with your time zone. Okay, the next thing you want to do when you go here, it's really good that you watch this second video, which says how does this platform work. It's going to explain everything that you need to know about how this whole platform is structured, how to find the materials. So pretty much everything that I explained right now, but in more detail and a little bit, so you can actually go through this and understand how you can level up, how you can win prizes and so on. When it comes to the workshop on May 4th at 3 p.m., this video is gonna get unlocked. So it's gonna get unlocked, and also you're gonna get the notification that you can watch it. And then on May 5th, we're gonna do the first live event. And here you can also add this to your calendar. If you click here, it's gonna add it to your calendar. When you click here on Google, you can simply save it here. And you can also join it live. This is the direct link that where you can join it whenever the time comes. So the same structure goes for every single event, May 6th, May 7th, May 8th, and so on. And then when the time passes, we're going to update them and you'll be able to watch them. It's really important to note that all of these workshop content, all of these videos and live events are going to be available only until May 14th. So if you want to to go through this, if you want to participate, make sure that you are actually live with us, and make sure that you're going through all of these workshop videos and also the live events. So that's kind of what I wanted to briefly go over when it comes to the workshop. And now, guys, yeah, let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything that is not clear that we should clarify, and if not, we can then see if you guys have any questions about the Rhino or Grasshopper.
We have two questions. The first one, the workshop of May 4th May is from 0 for beginners. So the answer, yes, it is for beginners, but also it will be for more experienced users. So if you're a beginner, it's great. You will learn like a lot of stuff. We will cover for beginners, but also if you're experienced user of Rhino and Grasshopper, we'll have also something for you.
Yeah. So essentially, we wanted to create the workshop so that it guides you from a complete like zero, like if you're a complete beginner, like if you don't know anything, if you're just starting out to Rhino and Grasshopper and you want to learn it how to use it in architecture, we try to lay out like a perfect plan that we've been doing this for over like 7-8 years now, where we show you. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have another question. Will the sessions be recorded? Yes. So all of the videos, all like four live events will be recorded, and you can access them until 14th May.
Yeah. So essentially, you, if you can, it's good that you join us live during the live events, so you can actually interact with us. You can ask us questions. But of course, if you cannot make it live, we're gonna have the recordings, and you can watch the recordings whenever you want until May 14th.
Yes, and one more thing, you don't want to miss live the fourth live event. That one is I think the most important. You can win some prizes. So, but we'll talk about that later. I mean,
that's something that we're gonna announce when the time comes. But essentially, the idea of this, we don't do this very often because it takes a lot of time to prepare and organize, and that's why we do these kind of events only like once a year, or sometimes even once in 2 years. So usually what happens, and we know this from experience, when the workshop finishes, then there's a lot of people who are still asking, can we watch the recordings? Can you watch the recordings? We couldn't be there on time. So now like this is it. It's not going to happen after May 14th. You have this 10 days, and we announced this in advance so that you guys can book some time, and we can actually go through all of this together. The way that we did this over the years is we wanted to really listen to the feedback of you guys and what you're struggling the most, and then we wanted to implement that directly in some of the live events. So the more questions you give us, the more things you're not sure about, the more products you actually are working on and you maybe have some problems with them, make sure to post all of these questions either now or during the live events or before the live events, so we can actually get to answer all of those. So the idea is that we give you as much knowledge as we can in these 10 days so that you can kind of see the potential and what Rhino and Grasshopper can do in architecture and in our industry. I forgot to ask at the beginning, is everybody here who's live with us architect, or we have some other designers? Okay, we have architects. All right. Philosophia. So Adonis is asking, I want to learn a Rhino from scratch. I already have version 7 installed. Should I stick with the one, or do you recommend version 8? So I would definitely recommend version 8 if you can, because version 8 has really nice features that we use for architecture that are that don't exist in Rhino 7 version. So if you can, it's definitely better if you can use a version 8. If you don't already have the license, you can use the free trial for 90 days, and you can use version 8 while the workshop is going, so you can actually check it out there. Yeah, in terms of the installation, let me just share this real quick. Just a second. Okay, so my screen sharing is gone. Let's do it again.
I just want to add one more thing related to Rhino 8 and Rhino 7. So we'll cover some topics related to Rhino 8 during the workshop. So you won't be able to follow that if you don't have Rhino 8. So we'll highly recommend to update.
Exactly. And let me show you here just real quick. Screen share entire window. Okay, let's go. So here on this, okay, where is it? Just a second, guys. Okay. Now I should be able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right here on the workshop page, right below you have minimum system requirements for Rhino, then minimum system requirements for Revit. And you click there, and here you'll have the links where you can see how much your system needs to be and how advanced it needs to be for it to run Rhino 8. And when you click here, download Rhino and download Revit, it's going to give you access to the links where you can actually download Rhino 8 90 days evaluation version. And that's what we recommend that you do. And also for Revit as well, if you want to, of course, participate in Rhino Side Revit event. Yeah, what else? I saw some questions here as well. I only learned Rhino from the beginning, but company always asks for another software. So it kind of depends on the company, I would say. It depends on who you're working for and what is their workflow. So I'm assuming that you're in architecture. So usually, Rhino and Grasshopper now are becoming a standard in architecture. So it's always good to know. But there's always going to be new tools, new software. So I wouldn't recommend that you're trying to learn all tools. You cannot possibly learn all of them, but just focus on the ones that can get the job done when it comes to designing, with design phase of the project, and then the construction phase of the project. Mainly the most two important tools would be Rhino and Grasshopper and Revit. Nowadays, of course, you have the different countries are using different BIM tools. For example, I know that in Switzerland and in Germany, they're using ArchiCAD instead of Revit. So these two are also really popular. But in general, this is always going to change, depending on the company. Okay, so we have some people who said, okay, I'm an architect. We have a lot of architects, interior designer, pursuing master degree in architecture. We have paper artists. Nice, cool. That's actually interesting.
Sounds cool.
If you have some website where we can check your work, please feel free to send us. Architect already using running Grasshopper for some projects like a facade. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the same person asks, is including the linkage between other softwares. I mean, structural softwares with Grasshopper like rebar automation. So for this workshop, we'll stick only with Grasshopper because I see another question. Will plugins for Grasshopper be part of the Grasshopper live workshop, like Kangaroo, Ladybug? So for during the live event, we'll focus only on Grasshopper. But if you are interested to learn more about Ladybug, we had like last month the workshop related to Ladybug.
Yeah, in terms of that,
Maybe you can share.
yeah, I can share that. So for those of you who don't know, we also have like How to Run Your Premium group. This is like a membership platform where you pay $35 and you get access to one professional workshop, and also you get access to one mini course with us. And in this one, you can see here that last month we had the workshop on Ladybug. And let me just show you maybe better to show you the whole roadmap. So this roadmap actually shows you all of the workshops we had in the past. So we started this doing in August of 2024. And each month you get one mini course in one workshop. We had workshops on Midjourney, Cinema 4D, Unreal Engine for architecture, D5 render for architecture. And you can see that we bring different guests, we bring different instructors who are going to hold those workshops. The mini courses are held by us. All of the things are going to be from Rhino and Grasshopper. And then you get the workshop made by professionals here, and you can see some of the workshops we had in the past. And one of those workshops was designed with climate or Ladybug tools with Ricardo Kanamori, and that's where we kind of covered all of the information about Ladybug. So we cannot potentially cover all of the plugins in the course itself or inside of the workshop, because there's just too many plugins. So
Exactly.
if you're interested in like checking out this How to Run Your Premium group, this is something that that we covered there.
Yes, because only that workshop for the Ladybug is around 7 hours.
Yeah.
So and we cover only the basic stuff. I mean that's essential things, right? So there are a lot of things. If you want to cover like all of I mean not all, but if you want to cover any plugin and Grasshopper like strictly, I mean it will take too much. So that's why we decided for the workshop to stick only with Rhino, Grasshopper, and Rhino side Revit.
Yeah, let's move on. We have some questions here. When I change the clipping plane fill color in the monochromatic view, it doesn't change. So naturally, this actually depends on your settings, and this depends on the settings of not only the monochromatic view, but also the sections that you have inside. So the best thing would be if you can actually send me the file that you want to do, that you're trying to do, and just send me the file with the clipping plane, and I can give you like a tutorial how to solve this. You can actually just go to our community here, and you can send me, you can either post it here in the or you can post it here, or you can send me a DM personal message and I'll help you with that. What are your thoughts on Visual Arc? It seems nice. Do you think it can replace Revit for drafting needs? So great question, Micha. So Visual Arc is we used to teach Visual Arc in the past before they released Visual Arc 3, which is like their newest release. And Visual Arc, it's very difficult to say that it can replace Revit. It cannot replace Revit because simply because it's a plugin for Rhino, and Rhino is not a BIM tool natively. Rhino is like a design tool. So whatever plugin you have for Rhino, it's very limited in a way that geometry is processed. So if you put, for example, Visual Arc and you compare it with Revit face to face, right, and then you put the same model in Revit and in Visual Arc, you're going to see that if the models are, kind of big, like you have a multi-story apartment building or skyscrapers or things like this is going to be very, very laggy in Visual Arc. So it's not going to be able to Like it's going to be very slow and painful. On the other hand, if if you have the same model in Revit, you're not going to have any problems with that. So the whole thing about the debate between Visual Arc and Revit is if it makes sense for your office to implement Visual Arc, go for it, because it's much cheaper than Revit. That's big plus. And it's much better. I mean, it's better for smaller scale projects and projects which are not, huge. So if you have, let's say, residential buildings or houses or villas or things like this, if you're dealing with that, Visual Arc is a great choice, and it can replace Revit in a way that it can give you sections, it can give you base plans, it can give you the information about your cost of materials and all of this, and it's great value for the money if you compare that with Revit. But again, if you're working in a big corporation, architectural company that uses Revit, it's going to be very difficult for them to replace it with Visual Arc. Hope that answers the question. Ways to export models cleanly from Rhino to other software for visualization, such as 3ds Max. Yeah, we can actually cover this. This is a great question. So let me just write that down. So this is a great question. Yes, from Rhino you can actually export files for 3ds Max for visualization, but it kind of depends on the geometry. It's not always like one solution for all. Sometimes when you have orthogonal straight geometry, you have one way of exporting geometry in 3ds Max, and then if you have some kind of geometry that is more like rounded and has a lot of fillets, then you have a different way of exporting that to Max, because the Max recognizes these tools better depending on the extension that you use. So yeah, we could definitely cover this in the workshop. This is definitely a good suggestion. Thank you. I use Rhino and want to learn Grasshopper and Rhino is right for automations. Great, you're at the right spot, Rodrigo. We're gonna cover that, so make sure to join us from May 4th to May 14th. I use Rhino 8 and Rhino Camp for design science, children furniture, and reverse engineering on my CNC router. Nice, cool. This is really good use case. We're now, we're also into 3D printing. You can see the 3D printer behind me. So we're also using Rhino for that, kind of optimize the models and play with that. So it's really like really big use case. So Rhino is used in many different industries, not just architecture. It's used in product design, fashion design, industrial design, and we're all kind of trying to learn the bits and pieces online. But the whole workshop is definitely going to be focused more towards architecture, but you can definitely follow if you're product designer.
We have a question from Fabrice. I was just wondering where can we post any suggestions or feedbacks for the upcoming workshop on the 4th of May. So Fabrice, feel free to post them in our Skool group. So make a post and
yeah. You can
Fabrice, any feedbacks and suggestions.
Feel free. Like we can maybe create a post. That's actually a good idea. Let's create a post. When we finish the call, we're gonna create a post here, like feedback for the workshop, and you guys can post it there and actually see what you want to know and discover more in the workshop. For how long Select tutorial in Classroom is available for free, and how one can access the private course, basically how can I get through Classroom. So Alina, essentially all of the selected tutorials are going to stay there. This is not going to disappear. This is just like the collection of the free tutorials we have from our YouTube channel, and you can watch them there. And this is more like our selection of how you would be able to kind of start learning Rhino for free on top of the workshop, right? So the workshop would be number 1, and this would be number 2. And in terms of the private courses, this is something that we're going to talk about near the end of the workshop. So we definitely, we don't want to give you too much information right now, but let's just say that you'll be able to join our private courses at the end of the workshop if you wish.
I'm third year student. Any advice from you guys? And really interesting to learn Grasshopper. So, great question. So my advice for learning Grasshopper is to start. So don't rush with some complex things. So we have like so many students, and we get so many questions for the beginners when they want to create something really complex. So I was highly suggested to start with the basics, and then gradually, you watch tutorial, try to understand, the logic, and then try to recreate by yourself something similar to that. So watching the tutorial, feel free to watch something complex, but don't try to make something complex without any knowledge or with just basic knowledge of Rhino, of Grasshopper. And also try to be inspired from some shapes from the nature, from some furniture, from some that's what we did. When we started learning Grasshopper, we saw some furniture, and let's say let's start on let's try to model this, or what would be the process of modeling this parametric thing Grasshopper. So the whole point is to spend time in Grasshopper and try by yourself, but also watch tutorials, watch courses. So that's my suggestion.
Yes, essentially surround yourself with tutorials, with community. And the great thing about our community is that we have people inside who are already very advanced in Grasshopper, who can always jump in to help you out and answer your questions. And just like Lazar said, Grasshopper is not the same thing as Rhino. It's a little bit more difficult to learn because it requires different way of thinking, a different way of creating logic in terms of the geometry. So it's more about the way of thinking than to actually just memorizing components, right? So it's all about, okay, let's say you see some complex shapes and complex facades that you want to do, and then you want to think, okay, how was this created initially? Like, what was the first initial design design element that they started with? Was it like a curve? Was it a small surface? Was it a division of points? Like, what is the actual core element that they started to create this complex design with? And when you think like that, when you think that, okay, every single complex design had to start somewhere, that's where you actually, well, let's go a step deeper. So they developed this first, and then they developed this first. And then when you dissect this in multiple small elements, then it's not that hard anymore. You just need to solve simple elements first, and then you slowly build the complexity as you go along. So that's what I would say would be very smart to actually be surrounded by Grasshopper, and don't get intimidated if you fail. And even if you make a mistake and it doesn't work, you should not quit. You should, okay, let's try tomorrow, because tomorrow you'll probably solve it in like just a couple of minutes, because that happened to Lazar many times. I mean, he can tell you the story.
That's happened to me. Even after how many 12 years of using 13 years of using Grasshopper. So even today it happened to me, like I cannot solve today, but tomorrow, like with fresh thinking, I can solve it. So sometimes it's okay to say, okay, stop today and I will try tomorrow. So yeah, that's one of the suggestions. If you're a member of Skool, try to search a post where I write, I make a really long post about, or I think it was my comment in one of the posts. Maybe I can try to find the link and I will share with you here. So all my suggestions, how to start and what would be like my advice for learning Grasshopper.
Okay, maybe I can find it here. Let me check.
I forgot which post was that.
Um,
Never mind. I will. We can focus on another question, and I will try to find.
okay. So next question: will a Rhino ever become parametric without the use of Grasshopper? I find it challenging for me to grasp Grasshopper, even though I would like to learn and become proficient at it. So, I mean, yes and no. It cannot become parametric because it's not parametric in nature. It's NURBS tools, NURBS tool. It's not possible to become parametric, but there are other kind of plugins that you can use that would simulate parametric behavior, right? So you have certain things like history, for example, in Rhino that allows you to memorize the sequence of commands that you did on a certain design, and that would only allow you to actually modify the okay, so let me just pull this up. So this is the post that Lazar gave on learning Grasshopper, so you can actually check it out there, and
I mean,
maybe
also some other people, reply to this comment. So you will find, like, beside my comment, you will find another tips or
yeah,
tricks.
maybe we should put it in the useful where was it? Useful resources and links. Yeah, let's put it there. So it's inside of there. Yeah, so to come back on this, I don't think Rhino can, be fully parametric, but it has history, and history allows you to actually manipulate, let's say, the curve that later became some kind of surface. So it's kind of semi-parametric, but it's not the same way of like you moving the sliders and then you get the geometry change. It's not like that. And Rhino and Grasshopper are actually integrated system, so it would be a shame for you to not try to learn Grasshopper, if you know what I mean, because they're really super integrated, and they can really do wonders once you get good at it. And in terms of Grasshopper, I would recommend that simply start slow. You go step by step, and learning Grasshopper is really difficult at the beginning. Like once you go from that beginner stage to the intermediate stage, once you get to the intermediate stage, it's going to open up huge doors for you. So just be persistent with it. Okay, let's do the next question. Is modeling elements, for example, classical facade ornamentation or roof tiles detail elements in Rhino and exporting them to Revit a viable option? Or should everything be modeled in one software? So, I mean, this is a good question. It depends, I would say, on the workflow. It depends on how, like, what would be the best kind of approach for that particular project. Rhino is much, much, much better for creating geometry than Revit, and creating any sorts of geometry, just like you mentioned, roof tiles, ornaments, things like this. However, Rhino is not even, like, I would say Rhino itself is not maybe the best tool for creating those, like, sculptures of ornaments, right? But you have the face of the person and things like this. So there's other tools for that. They're much better. They're called like the one tool that I know is called ZBrush, and ZBrush allows you to actually sculpt, to actually create all of those intricate, super intricate, complex designs. But it comes down to optimizing your model at the end in Revit. If your model in Revit is going to be overwhelmed with super advanced and complex meshes that you imported from Rhino or from ZBrush, the file in Revit is also going to struggle. So for that, you also need to have the proper Revit workflow. So what I mean by that is actually instead of using the actual ornament, you can actually use some dummy geometry and then use that for all of the calculation and things that you need, and then use only ornaments and things like this to import and replace them in place of that dummy geometry in Revit. Whenever you want to export maybe the diagram or things like this from Revit directly. So I don't see very specific need for creating super heavy geometry in Rhino than pushing it to Revit, because it's gonna overwhelm the file. However, if it's like very simple geometry, if it's like roof tiles that are not super complex, sure, you can put them in push them to Revit. But I would also try to compare your Revit file in terms of if you would do the same kind of tile in Revit, and then you would do the same tile in Rhino, and then try to import it in Revit and see the comparison between the files. If it makes more sense, if it's more heavy, if it doesn't, if you cannot even orbit in the screen, there is no point of doing this. Hope that answers the question. So Rafik, this is, can you please share any daily use Grasshopper script or usage examples? I mean, this, we cannot share this because it really depends on what you're using it for, right? So not every architectural company has the same designs. They don't have the same type of processes. They don't have the same type of workflows. So it's all custom and it's all made based on that company. We used to have in our How to Earn Your Premium group, we had a guest from Zaha Hadid Architects, Omar Kadura, and he was sharing some of the scripts that they are using in Zaha Hadid. So essentially, every single office has different type of workflows, and there's no one universal script that I can share or Lazar can share that is the same. There's not such thing as same scripts. There are scripts that are more like used for certain workflows. For example, if you want to do, let's say, if you want to do, I don't know, or maybe tractors, or you want to have the pointed tractor and things like this. There are scripts that can do this, but there's no point of you holding those scripts or memorizing them or saving them, because every single design is going to be different. It's not going to be efficient.
Yes, and also if you think like one of the things that Omer shared with us, the guy from Zaha, he shared his own library that he created for their office, and what he did basically he created some script, and if he thinks that this will be useful for some future projects or some upcoming work that they have, let's say he saved this as a snippet with Meta Hooper plugin, and that maybe I can share this workflow with you right now. So basically he's saved like the whole Grasshopper file or one part of the Grasshopper, and he saved this and it will be converted as a component. So it will be saved in the tab, and basically as a single icon. And if you click this icon and drag and drop to Grasshopper canvas, the whole script will be loaded, and you can use for some other for some other projects. Maybe I can share, or Dole, I mean, I can share my screen.
Yeah, I can share. Let's try.
So first I need to click share, screen share.
Okay, let's just a second. Now we should be able to see your
Okay.
screen. Yeah.
Let's say you want to save this part of the Grasshopper file. So select this one, and you need to have like Meta Hooper plugin. So go to Meta Hooper, and there is an option Save Snippet. So you can name this. I don't want to rename this one. So you need to save it. Put in the certain category, subcategory, and click OK. And if you go to new file, new document, and go to user, where is it? It's here. So this one is I saved. Click here, and only this part will be loaded. So if you think that one part of the script is you can use for further projects, you can save it like that.
Cool. This is really cool. All right. So yeah, to come back on this, Just a second. So, Micha, I saw your follow-up question. Should I create Revit native families, or is modeling in Rhino and exporting a single element also good workflow? So again, this kind of ties down to what I said earlier. You should try both and see which file at the end is going to be more easy to work with. Usually, I'm 90% sure it's going to be a Revit file because it would have like native components inside, but it doesn't mean that you cannot do this the same thing in Rhino. It's because essentially when you process the file from Rhino to Revit, it becomes a Revit file, and you just need to give it properties just like to a Revit family. So, but it really depends on the complexity. It depends on how heavy and how detailed that roof tile or whatever you're doing it would be. What are your favorite rendering tools out there? Thoughts on rise of AI in rendering? Yeah, maybe like you can give your thoughts on this.
I use only V-Ray, so that's related to visualization. But with the rise of AI, I think the Conf UI, I think is the best so far. So with the Conf UI, you have like a lot of possibilities, and some of the possibilities are how to run premium members. So last week when we had our workshop for the Conf UI.
Yeah, that was really fun. So yeah, last week we had the workshop on Conf UI with Omar from Design Input Studio, and we talked about Conf UI for architects. And this is really an interesting tool that allows you to really create interesting workflows for renderings based on the prompts that you give it. And then you can also have very fine control of how you allow that change to happen. So you have much finer. It's similar to Grasshopper because it has these nodes. And then by using these nodes, you're actually creating certain renderings. And you can use prompts, and you can also modify parts of the images and allow it to actually grow. In terms of like in general, I again also prefer V-Ray, but recently we had a chance of checking out D5 rendering engine, and D5 is also a great tool. We also had a workshop on D5 a couple of months ago. Here it is, D5 for architecture. It's really user friendly, and it also has a couple of AI features inside of it. So I would definitely say either D5, either V-Ray or D5 or Conf UI. So those three.
I forgot for the DeFi. Yeah, of course.
Cool. So hello, William. Long time from Kengo Kuma Associates. Thank you very much for the lessons. It helped me a lot to get into Kengo Kuma. Cool. Nice. Hello, William. Nice to get back to you. Yeah, congrats on getting into for Kengo Kuma. Is it necessary to learn Rhino to learn Grasshopper? It's not necessary, but you would have very big holes in your knowledge if you don't know Rhino.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, at least beginner level you should know. At least beginner level.
Yeah.
Please, we need more Conf UI. Yeah, we're gonna bring definitely Omar again. This was our second workshop with him. We had the first workshop in January. The second one was last month, actually this month, and then we're probably gonna bring him again because this changes very fast. Alina, I personally want to establish workflow in Rhino Grasshopper that helps me finish complete project from conceptual to interior, like carpeting, drawings, etc. Cohesive, yeah. Rather than jumping through multiple software. Yes, this is definitely something that Rhino can help you do. Because Rhino, you can think about Rhino as 3-4 tools in one, right? So you have the ability to do 2D drafting. You can do AutoCAD drawings directly in Rhino. You can do 3D modeling. You can do sketching, massing. You can do also rendering with V-Ray, with D5, with these rendering tools that you mentioned. You can also do when you create interiors, when you create exteriors, For example, with V-Ray, you can import all of the furniture elements, everything that you need, or you can model them in Rhino as well. So it's just a matter of the workflow you want to use. And then at the end, creating all of the drawings, elevations, base plans, section cuts, all the drawings for the cut lists and all of this, it's all doable in Rhino. So think about it as the fusion between AutoCAD, 3ds Max, and then Revit, essentially, because you can also do the drawings and all of this.
Yeah, and I would add with the Grasshopper, you can automate some stuff, especially for the CNC.
Exactly. Jardish, thank you for all the tutorials. We'll be having a workshop on Rhino. Yes. We actually went over this at the beginning of the stream, Yagadish. So we're gonna have the workshop from May 4th to May 14th. Make sure to join us.
I remember. Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to say I remember Yagadish from last year. When
Cool.
like our last year workshop.
So this is the link for those of you who joined us late. This is where you can join the workshop and join our community. Okay. We have a couple of more questions. Lazar keeps disappearing behind the questions. Yeah, we cannot move this. I think there's no way of doing it.
Here.
Yeah. I'm looking to import my Rhino models into Blender to render by making custom geometry node materials. Currently, the workflow is tedious and messy. Yeah, possibly. Maybe we can do a tutorial on this, but we're not going to cover this in the workshop because it's outside the scope of the workshop, but potentially we can do this for a tutorial. Okay. Yeah, this is the obvious question. Should I learn Rhino? I know 3ds Max Revit, but I don't call myself pro in them. Can model, but I struggle with parametric modeling. Again, this depends completely on you. Depends on where you want to work. Depends on how comfortable you are with those tools. Depends on if the current office that you're working in is already using 3ds Max and Revit and they don't use Rhino. And then it depends again on your future plans. Like, do you want to go into the direction of parametric modeling, or do you want to go to work for an office that uses these tools? It kind of depends on that. Like, I cannot tell you go learn Rhino. Like, it's up to you to decide this. We're just here to kind of show you what it can do, and then you make a decision. What are the most Grasshopper plugins written in? Do some of them made from native Grasshopper component? So most of them are written in C#. That's the main language. And I cannot answer you the second question. I'm not sure. But possibly yes, because there's many plugins. So somebody could probably have built something like that as well.
Yeah, but the plugin is not built on Grasshopper components.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think. But maybe some plugin creators of the plugins, maybe they
reuse some
combine,
of the
combine together like Grasshopper native components, create a cluster from it, and from that cluster they make an icon or some feature for the plugin. I think pcook plugin did something similar. Okay.
Alejandro, so this is the kind of same question you had from before. Is it necessary to learn Rhino? As we said, it's good to have at least essential knowledge, because you will have gaps in the knowledge if you don't do it. Helm Search, and are there any plugins for cabinets? I think yes, Tali, but I cannot guarantee because we're not in that industry, so I haven't researched it, but probably there is. You could go to Food for Rhino, try to search for some of them. Revit general architecture question is, in how much detail is a building, big house or a small medium apartment complex model in Revit in general, ventilated facades, substructure? So again, Miha, this depends a lot on the workflow of the office, and it depends on how far in details they want to go. I wouldn't say there is like a rule for this. Some offices do projects in Revit completely. Some offices do projects in Revit only until they finish like the overall geometry and the interiors, and then they switch to AutoCAD to do the drawings and drafting. So it kind of depends. It's not all set in stone, and there is no like a general rule. I would say that it depends also on how people who are in the office who are using Revit, how good they are in Revit and how much they know in Revit. So if the office has the reason to do everything completely in Revit, and they have the funds and people who know how to produce the whole thing, and if that makes sense for them at that point, they should do everything there. But if it makes more sense for them to just stop at a certain point and then go for some other tools like AutoCAD to just do the details or the drawings, usually that's how, I mean, the offices that I know here in Serbia, they do most of the things like this. But I know, for example, my colleague Milan, who used to work in Sweden, he told me that they do everything in Revit, completely everything, like even the sewers, pipes, and all of this, everything is completely modeled in Revit, and you have the exact replica of the apartment building with the infrastructure connected to the streets and everything else. So it kind of really depends on the country, it depends on the city, it depends on the office. Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here for today. And we're gonna continue probably. When did we schedule it for in 2 weeks, right?
In 10 days.
In 10 days. Okay, so once again, guys, make sure to join us. I'm gonna put the link here once again. If you haven't already, make sure to join us on Skool. This is the link, and this is where you're gonna be able to click on the community, join here, and make sure to watch the first video about the workshop, and all of the information is going to be located when you click there. I'm going to now create a post in the community as well, so you guys can give us feedback on what you want to hear as well in the workshop, so we can kind of gather that feedback as well. And yeah, I hope that you guys find some value in this, and thank you all for all of the questions. And if we haven't answered some of you, we're gonna catch those questions. We're gonna answer them in the next live event, and yeah, go from there.
All right, guys. See you in 10 days.
All right. Bye bye.